What's up, Gene?
What up, man? How you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm all right.
I have to tell you, before we even get it started, for our audience, I was very disappointed in Gene today. Gene pulls up.
Oh, really? You're gonna start off with this? Okay, this is his OCD. Continue. Go ahead.
Gene pulls up, and he's in the back of his car. He's doing something. I don't know what he's doing, but he makes this comment.
I'm milling about.
He's milling about. I'm like, oh, he's just getting some stuff out of his car. But he makes this comment about trash can, like, need trash can. I've got some barbecue sauce. I'm like, what the heck are you talking? Like, what do you mean barbecue sauce? She's like, oh, well, I dropped a little bit in the car. I'm like, what do you mean you dropped barbecue sauce? Like, did you open the bottle? Was it broken? Because in my head, I'm thinking that you stopped at the grocery store. Maybe you bought something for later today and it leaked. Cap came off. No. Gene's like, well, I ate in my car. I'm like, you what? I don't even understand that. Yeah. I don't even understand that concept. I told him I don't even know if I can let him park here because someone eating in that kind of a car,
It's a car.
I know, but
it's a car. Hold on. So you and I have ate in your Suburban. Or your, not Suburban, your, what's the truck you have? Silverado? Silverado.
Yes.
We've eaten that.
That's a 25-year-old vehicle.
Okay, but it's still a vehicle.
It's 25 years old.
It's still a vehicle. Have you ever ate or drank in your Z06?
I will drink, yes.
Never ate food?
Have I eaten a candy bar? I might have eaten a candy bar.
How dare you?
Maybe.
How dare you eat a candy bar at a Z06?
Well, here's the thing,
It's disrespectful to the Z06. I'm calling Harlan Charles and
too bad they're not.
Taj.
Too bad they're no longer with the.
Okay, I'll call Tony then.
Yeah, call Tony. I might have eaten, and I felt bad. I think I did because actually I did. I was coming back from the Ridge. This is only the last time I was at the Ridge. Super hot out. I had the top down. Getting baked in. We get in traffic like 2 hours to get home. I'm starting to get really tired, so I pull over and I get something to drink, and I do get a candy bar. I remember as I'm eating the candy bar, you know how sometimes if you eat, there might be some crumbs?
Yeah, a morsel fell into the seat, and he started to cry.
Well, in order to prevent a morsel from falling, when I would eat, I would inhale to take any type of the crumbs that might drop.
Oh, God.
But I didn't drop any.
So what you don't, I'm over here dying laughing. I even pulled off my glasses. I don't know why, but I had to. I'm watching him as he's telling the story, and he's miming how he had to inhale while he ate the chocolate, ate the candy bar to keep the morsel. So I'm laughing at the mime while he's telling the story.
Oh, man.
Oh.
But normally I would never eat in a vehicle, and I definitely never, ever, ever would I do something where I could drop ketchup, barbecue sauce.
That's why I had to detail. I had to pull out interior detail, which I keep in my trunk. I'm like, I'm detailing this right now because this is McDonald's barbecue sauce. I know it's so bad and unhealthy. I get it, but it's probably got preservatives that would keep me alive for many years.
Yeah.
So I had to clean that off real quick. I had to get that off the pleather.
Lisa didn't hit your seatbelt. Because if it gets in the fibers, it's really hard to get out of the fibers.
No.
I've had to clean some of those, and you get with a toothbrush, and you're going back and forth, and then it starts to raise the grain of the seatbelt. It's a hassle. Don't ever.
Oh yeah, good
That's
to
why
know.
you shouldn't eat it in your car.
Good Lord.
Oh my gosh.
That was funny. But still, the miming of the
That's not where I intended this to go. But,
no, that was awesome.
Oh, my gosh.
We'll take it.
Oh, man, that's so funny.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh, okay, so what's been going on? You haven't done anything, have you?
Nothing. So not since ORP, other than I had to buy tires because I shredded my front left inside of the tire.
And you have camber on yours? Do you have
No,
adjusted?
mine's no camber at all.
Oh.
It's everything on that car is completely stock, other than the .4 fluid, which I do need to replace. I haven't replaced that in about a year and a half, so I got to replace that now.
Do they have camber settings for the 4?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You can go to, I think, -2 or 2.5, something
Yep.
like that. You know, our friend over there has said you can actually, they set it up where you can actually drill a hole and go to -3. So you can change it to -3 if you want, which I wouldn't do unless I was doing a big track like Laguna Seca, Sonoma, some big kind of marquee track. I would want that to attack that track with the most amount of camber that I can possibly do. I would also put in the rear brake cooler ducting. I'd put that in there as well. I mean, I would do it up. Just
Yeah.
that's the track I would do it for. Other than that, because every time you do that, it changes the toe,
Yeah.
so you have to have a front end alignment, and that's it's not free.
No.
None of that is free. Yeah, so I had to buy the tires. It was so funny too because I went looking, and
Oh
one
my gosh.
of my customers, and I won't say the name of the company, but it is a national tire company. So I have some affinity to them. They're a good customer of ours. I went looking. I went to their online store. I called them on the phone. The online store had them. I called them on the phone. 2 different locations. They're like, no, they don't make them. Ma'am, they do. No, they're discontinued tires. No, they're not. They're the OEM.
Were you saying the TPC?
The TPC
Okay,
spec.
That's what.
Yeah, the
They
PS,
don't know.
Yeah, what I told them, I said, just find the car and the OEM spec tires. That's what I want. Oh, they don't make those anymore. Yes, they do. I can find them on your company's website.
They don't make them.
Well, then why don't you just buy them from there? I'm like, I guess I may. I was like, and I'm going to be on site next week, so I'm going to go see them. And I thought about bringing it up, but I'm not. I'm just going to leave it alone. So I ended up finding them at a Cadillac dealership, getting the tires, and unfortunately, the day of
we're going to the track.
day we're going to the track, I'm like, I had to cancel. Luckily, I got my money back, but I had terminated an employee, and all that work came to me, and realizing what this person was not doing, and salvaging a lot of stuff that he let fall through the cracks. Thankfully, we have, which is great.
This has now turned into a business podcast.
No, not really, but we salvaged, which is great. But I had to cancel it though. So now I've got. But I kept the 3 good tires. I kept the 2 rears and then the front right.
Oh, so you only changed that one.
No, I changed out all 4.
Oh,
but
okay.
I told them I want to keep the 3
Keep
good
the
tires
3.
as spares
Yep.
because I had the one that's got 5 track days on. When you look at it, it's melted, right?
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
It is a definite spare for something. So now I'm like, well, I got to get them off the garage floor to keep my wife happy. So I ended up ordering like $70 from like Amazon, whatever, to get one of those. Bounce it on the wall, and there's already 3/4 inch plywood that the previous owners had put on the wall because they bolted in all they were physical trainers, right? They're huge, so they had all their weights on there. I'm like, this thing's not coming off, so I made sure they were all tight, mounted it up to that, fit perfect, put all 4 tires now hanging on the wall.
Horizontal
Yeah.
rack? Okay.
Yeah. So I got 3 rears and 1 front because I've got a lot of friends out here in the Pacific Northwest with CT4V Blackwing. So if I need a spare tire or if one of my friends need one, and they can't get one in a hurry, I got one for them.
That's cool.
Yeah, I did it to John.
Yeah.
Did I tell you the story with John? A couple years ago, he was going down to Laguna Seca. And John is called Full Send John for a reason. I named him that for a reason because in the rain, it doesn't matter. My boy is going to go full send. And I love that about him, right? I want to be his age going full send.
Absolutely.
And that's the goal, right? So it's not it's a name of respect, not a disrespect.
I mean, if you're 95 and you're out there tracking that hard, I mean,
sorry, John, that wasn't me. I thought you were 94. So John was going down to Laguna Seca, and we had just finished track day earlier in the week at the Ridge, and his front left was shredded. So I had to happen to have a spare because I had a blown tire. So I'm like, come get my spare. It's in pretty good shape. Come get it, bring it back to me when you're done or whatever. So he did. He came and got it because he couldn't get tires. This one, when the OEM TPC spec tires were hard to get. So
because you'd only had the car, what, a short amount of time?
Short amount, maybe a year.
It was brand new.
Yeah. They're still building lots of cars.
Yeah.
So he came and got the tire, had it installed, drove it down there. When he brought it back, it was worse than the tire that he took off.
Really?
He destroyed my tire. And I looked at it, I'm like, just keep the tire. Just remember me if I ever needed one. It was so bad. Like, I gave you a tire that was pretty good. And the only reason I changed it is because I had a flat on the front. And I'm like, well, I might as well. No, it wasn't flat. I had a damaged front left because I hit a pothole like 6 a.m. in the morning going to Griot's, and it broke the bead.
Oh.
Yeah. Or bent the bead. Didn't break it. It bent the bead. So I ended up having to swap that out. Didn't realize that's what happened. I said, well, I don't like to, especially when you have a bunch of miles on both sets on the car. I didn't want to get one new tire and one. So I gave him a tire that was still had many miles left on it and a lot of track days left on it, at least the way I drive. But the way Full Send drives, one track day at Laguna Seca and one trip back, and tire was shredded. So
were the cord showing, or is it just worn?
Cord showing.
Oh my! And he drove all the way back that way?
I don't know if it got worse on the way back or not, but I know when he came back to show me the tire, he's like, Gene, here's the picture of the tire. I'm like, just keep it, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Just be safe. Just remember me in the future.
Well, speaking of John, his car right now, because he came over this morning, and his front passenger side cords are showing.
The Z06?
Yep.
Ooh.
So he was thinking about going on a long drive down to another state, and I'm like, I would not.
No, not
like
with
driving
cord
around
showing.
here. I would trust it. I mean, if something happened, you can always get a tow back to your house or something, or there's enough tire dealers anywhere close to where you're going to be. But driving to another state and you're going to be on the interstate, yeah, I would not do that.
Well, after the track day, I had some cord showing, and I was a little worried about that. So our buddy from GM was like, yeah, you're fine. Just pump it up to like 42 PSI. You're good to go.
Well, you see the tires that he's shown us that he's tracked on.
Oh, I know.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. So I felt better. I'm like, okay, you can make it home. So that's the only car thing that I've done, really.
Well, we did the Ridge last week.
Yeah.
When you had to cancel.
Yep.
And so there's only me, John, Rob, Ben might have gone out there. I've already forgotten now. I think Ben went out there too. Maybe not. I don't remember.
He's old.
Oh, gosh, I know. I hate that.
John's 95. Dan's like 93.
I'm catching up. It seems like every day is like two. I can't remember if Ben showed up or not. Maybe it was just Rob, John, and I.
I saw the pictures. I didn't see Ben's car.
Okay, so it's just the three of
Yeah, I
us.
think
Yeah,
so.
maybe it was just the three of us. Not anybody else showed up. So it was a good day. No Mustang guy. Super happy about that.
Yeah, but Mustang guy gives us stories and things to complain about.
He does, and I have more Mustang guy stories later. But he wasn't there, so it was a pretty good. John and I went out together. John brought his Z06, so we're both together. And we'd always line up first, always get there early, so John and I are together. We try to put down, a couple hot laps, 3 sessions that we got. So we did the first 2 sessions pretty good. John's would get out there and would kind of follow me for a bit. And we'd usually get about, 2 or 3 good laps, and then you start running into traffic. And for the most part, people are pretty good about, letting you go by. Third session, just like as always, a lot of people leave early. I don't know why. I'm like, if you drive all the way out there, why would you?
Yeah.
I don't get that. People left early, which is good for me. There's this guy, this Porsche guy that I think was out there, and we were doing pretty good. And I think I got the last session, I was able to get maybe 4 solid laps in, and before I hit traffic. So it was a good track day, and I just worked on my lines because I had an event coming up 3 days later.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And so I spent most of my time just working on the lines, not worrying about speed. I want to keep speed up, but I wasn't trying to break my best time ever. I wanted to be very consistent about trying to look for break points without cones.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't realize how much you rely, maybe just instinctively, you see something and then you react to it, right? It's just subconsciously, right?
So there were no cones at this other event you did?
No.
Oh, I never even thought about that. Okay, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was really focused on where's my brake points, where's my turn in. Apex always, I mean, that's easy,
Sure,
right?
you know where that's at.
But where's my brake and my turn in? Because if you don't have visual reference,
Yep.
I never thought about how much I relied on that, not knowing that I'm relying on it, but you truly do.
Especially as many times we've gone over there, right?
I know.
We
It's
know.
so many laps that we've done there. So that's really what I spent time on, not about setting fast lap time. So I think my best time was only like 151, 152. So I wasn't going like blazing fast, but I really was about consistent. So I did that, and then we all took off and headed home. That's the only other car event I did until
the topic of today's conversation.
Topic of today is I did my first official car race.
Wow.
Let's back up. I got into this whole car thing because of motorcycles, right? What happened, and we've talked all about this before, so I don't need to rehash it. When I got into the car thing, my first foray into it was autocross. And I did, that first year
You did a lot.
I did a ton, 15 to 20 different autocross events, did a lot of events. And that was a blast, but it definitely didn't scratch the itch. Not like what I was looking for, not what I was used to in the motorcycle racing world.
Yeah.
Then, went out with the club to my first track event in the Nismo, and that was my first time. And I was like, wow, this is so much better than autocross. Autocross serves a purpose, and I still enjoy autocross, but going out the track day was just like, wow, so much better. And now that we've gotten into it, I've definitely gotten into it a lot of track days. Like I'm traveling all over, going to other places. I really enjoy pushing the car to its limit. Like I really enjoy it. But when we interviewed,
Especially a car that was designed to do it.
especially 100% for a car, not if you're taking your Camry or your Corolla
Or even
out there,
you did not.
I slipped that in there.
You did. Or even a car that you built. Like if you built a car, possibility it could break, not because you're not a good mechanic or you don't have the right or you don't have the right good parts on there.
Yep.
But you're still not a manufacturer. Like the cars we track drive, the 06 and the Blackwing, drive to the track, beat on them all day long,
And then you're,
drive it home, and the even in the heat of the summer, the thing never
I know, it just keeps on going.
it never gets overheated. It's beautiful.
I know, amazing engineering.
Amazing
that they've
engineering.
done. But we go to events like the WEC or Rolex, and they're out there racing, and it's like, man, I know what my racing days used to look like with motorcycles. I know what track days look like, but it's still not the same. And so when we talked to David a couple episodes ago, and that really got my wheels turning. After that episode, after we interviewed David, I think that night or the next day, I mean, I was watching tons of videos about that, just like, oh. So, I don't know, a month ago, I forgot how long ago, David pinged me and said, hey, are you interested? I think he pinged you too, right? I first said, absolutely. Yeah, this sounds fun. Sign me up. I didn't respond. Oh, let me back up. I need to correct that. So he asked me, and I said, let me check, because I was going to be doing a work event. I was going to be traveling out of country. Like, let me check. By the time I came back to him, like a couple hours later, I said, okay, looks like I'm free. I'm not going to have to travel, or I changed it around. So I'm now available. So that's what it was. And he's like, we've already got it filled. They got somebody else. I'm like, oh man, bummer. That was really quick. I forgot the duration, but it's probably like a couple hours. So it wasn't a whole lot of time, but they already filled it. So I was like, bummer. I missed my opportunity. I'll do it another day. Right. A couple days later, David's like, hey, are you still interested? I think that might have fallen through. Okay, well, I've already shifted my chain because I got out of the travel. I put the travel back on. So now I need to see, can I undo the travel that I just redid? I'm like, give me some time. So I worked some stuff and got it changed around. And so I was able to now say, okay, I'm available. Are you guys available? Yes. I'm like, okay, I'm good. So I told David, good. I had asked him a bunch of questions about it, and okay, let's do this. I think maybe a couple days later, I talked with the owner of the team, and it's funny. Remember when we were talking with David about they never asked him if he drove a manual?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
they never asked me. So I I knew I could drive it, so I wasn't worried about not being able to drive a manual. But I kept remembering, man, I guess they just assume that if you're going to be driving a race car that you can drive a manual, right? But they never asked me about it. So I mentioned something to David later on. And he's like, "Oh, I already told him that you can drive a manual." So I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's why they didn't ask me." So I met with the owner, and he kind of gave a rundown of what the team is, how they got started, the type of car, what they've invested in the car, all this type of stuff. And my biggest concern was I don't want to be the person holding up the team.
Right.
I just don't want to be that guy. Now, I know I'm aggressive. I know I can drive fast, but I've never driven in a race situation with a car. I've done it in motorcycles, but not in a car. I've never driven that car. I don't want other people to expect a podium, and I'm the one that
to hold you back.
Right?
Yeah. You don't want to be the lead weight.
I just don't want to be that. And everybody was like, "Hey, don't worry about it. You'll be fine." But the owner did tell me, "Hey, if we put the car out there, we expect a podium." While they're telling me, "Don't worry about it. Just go out there and put down solid laps and be clean," there's this expectation that they do want a podium.
Of course.
So that was weighing on me.
Yeah.
That was definitely weighing on me. I mean, I think I can drive good enough that I can at least be competitive with the team. I don't think I'm the worst, but probably not the best, but probably somewhere in the middle, probably good enough. So I'm like, all right, let's do this. I feel comfortable. You feel comfortable. Let's move forward. So I think we talked like maybe a month before the event, and then we didn't really talk anything from then on. About a week before the event, Matt, who is also drives with the team, they have two cars. He drives on the other car. He's an instructor, really, really, really impressive, fast driver. We had a Zoom session where he kind of walked us through his, I think, about a 2-hour meeting, and we walked through all the stuff you need to be aware about in terms of racing. The lines, they took video inside the car and showed, okay, you can see what they're doing here, what they're doing right, what they're not doing right. A couple of videos of how people turned in onto other cars and caused accidents. And so we spent about 2 hours going through that stuff. That was, I think, the week before the event. And we show up on Friday for practice. Now, I hadn't been in the car yet. Now, it turns out that I guess they had a practice maybe a week or two before, and David got to drive in the car, as well as the other people on the team got to drive in the car, but I had not driven the car. My first time was just showing up there. That was on Friday before the race. So we get there Friday. We're driving a Nissan 350Z. Nice car, completely caged, everything torn out.
Stock motor though, right?
Stock motor. Yeah, it hadn't been hopped up or anything. So a super solid car. Like
so
there were cars,
250 horsepower, but lighter.
Yeah, it's still a heavy car though. I think it was like 3,200 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's not a light car. It's definitely a momentum car that you need to keep up your speed around the track.
Yeah.
Because you are underpowered.
Yep.
There were a lot of cars out there that were tuned. There was a car literally right beside us that they spent all day Saturday trying to get this thing to run, and I think they finally got it working for Sunday race. But because they had this tune on it, it dorked something up, and they spent all day. So we had a really solid car. But this is Friday. We get out for practice, and we go out for I get two sessions. I think each of us got
two practice sessions.
Two practice sessions.
For how long each?
My first one was an hour.
Okay.
And then my second one maybe an hour also.
Okay. So you had some good quality time in there.
Good quality time.
Yeah.
And that's the longest I'd been in a car at one stint, right? Normally we go, even when we have open track.
20, 30-minute sessions.
30-minute sessions. So I was in there for an hour.
Full race suit?
Full race suit, yeah, because you can't go on track without it.
Okay.
So we're in a full race suit. First time we go out, I'm not wearing a cool suit. I'll come back to that in a little bit. I just go out there and put down laps. And this is early in the morning, so it's still, I'm actually the first driver. I think they put me out there first. I think.
Oh, okay.
So it's still very cool out there. So full race gear, everything set up. You get in there. It's got a race clutch in it, so it's got kind of a heavy travel, but the engagement is like the first inch. And so that was a little, I'd let off the clutch, finally it engaged, and I'm doing this kind of herky-jerky for a little bit. But I get on the track, net in the window, right, on the driver's windows, on the net. you can't see the driver's mirror, side mirror. It's there, but if you look between one of the little squares, you can see it. But when you're driving a car, you can't.
No.
You can't see it. Luckily, they had the rear view mirror was a camera for the rear. I don't normally like those. Like in my car, in all of our vehicles,
I like those,
dude. It messes.
I'm going to install one in the Blackwing at some point.
I can't stand it. Well, in the Z06, it just makes my head, in the Cadillac, it makes my head go weird. But it worked, whatever, I don't know what the frequency, something was different about it, and it actually was good. Thank goodness we had it, because you cannot see the mirrors when you're, at least I couldn't when you're racing. So I'll go out there, and I'm not going to lie, probably 5 laps in, my thought was, what have I got myself into?
But why is that?
They have a Garmin in there just like I've got, and I'm putting down like 212. I'm going super slow.
Okay. I now I can see why you're saying that.
I'm going slow. And harness locked in. You know, you're in a race seat, right? So hard, rigid. And the first session out, because the seat is fixed, there's no adjusting it, my legs were fully extended, like completely out there, and I'm working my toe instead of moving my leg.
Ooh.
Uncomfortable, right?
That's tough on the brakes. Tough to really nail the brakes hard and stand on them too, right?
But you don't really stand on the brakes. Never really stood on the brakes hard.
Oh, that's
good. With the clutch, though, I'm
you need full travel. Yeah.
Right? And it was uncomfortable. I can't see through the net. You've got 3 classes of cars out there, and the super fast, crazy BMWs that are out there, man, they don't want to wait for anything. Like, they're going to dive bomb you all day long. Yeah, I was like, what have I done? Is this what I want to do? I really want to do this? I really want to get into car racing? I was questioning. I was having all these thoughts go through my head. First session gets done.
But okay, I'm going to talk like I'm a psychologist. How did it make you feel? No, I can actually understand it though, because you come from a motorcycle world where you were really good. And I've seen you ride the motorcycle. You know, I'm going slow. Take it easy. Second place around the second turn. So I know how you are in your mentality, and I appreciate it. Knowing you like I do now, and knowing that you're used to being, up there, and really good at it, I can see why you would have those thoughts of, oh crap, what have I got myself into? I'm not as fast as I want to be. There's all these things that aren't working right. I can see why you would feel that way, because I'm sure I would too.
Yeah, it was a little demoralizing, because now my thoughts went back to what I was afraid of, what I told you to begin with.
What he was thinking is, I'm as slow as Gene.
No, I was thinking, crap, I'm going to let the team down.
Yeah,
right?
I can see that.
And I was uncomfortable. I was very uncomfortable in the car. Like, I jump in the Blackwing, I was in the BMW school, totally fine. But this car, because the race seat, my feet aren't in the right position. I've got a net in my, right in my face. I got all these cars coming around me like crazy. Man, I was not in a good space. So we get first session done. I get out of the car, and I was like, holy crap. I've got to be in the car for 2-hour stints, and I've got to be on my A game. Like, I'm not even at my C game, and I feel like crap. So after the first practice, I was like, really like, man, this sucks. I feel really bad. So then, I watch the other guys. They do the practice, and then we have a lunch break.
What feedback did you get from the guys?
Oh, they're like, hey, you're doing good. That's it, right? You're doing good. Like, you're being solid. You didn't hit anybody,
Solid move at work, dude. You didn't wreck the car. Nice job.
That's the thing, is that the race series is a no-hit series. So they expect you not to be hitting cars. Like, it should be abnormal to hit someone.
Sure.
Whereas if you go out into like IMSA or WEC, people are hitting people all the time, right?
Yeah.
Now, they're not intentionally trying to T-bone you, but they hit, right?
Yeah.
Here, they do not expect you to hit whatsoever. So I was putting down solid laps slow, but I wasn't hitting anybody.
Consistent.
I was consistently slow, and that's a good thing.
I'm trying to find a positive here, bro.
No, hey, it was positive. It was consistent, and I didn't hit anybody.
That's solid.
Okay, so that was the feedback. So we take a break. Everybody else is going through, and now we're going out for the next session after lunch. I mentioned the cool suit. They have a cool suit setup where they have this container, like an igloo, like a container, and they put ice in it.
Ice and water in it.
Ice and water in it, and then it runs through things into your suit. Now, I didn't have one. Everybody else did. I wasn't planning on buying one. Everybody's like, oh, you have to wear one. Even if it's like 50 degrees outside, you need to wear one because it's going to get really hot.
Yeah.
So the owner let me borrow his, super nice. He let me borrow his for the second session. And by the afternoon, the sun had come out. The morning was overcast, cool. Afternoon, sun came out, much warmer. Put the cool suit on. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. Get in the car, body temperature kept super cool. I think it reduced it by like 10 to 15 degrees.
Wow.
Huge difference.
Yeah, that's really good.
Really comfortable in there. Now the second session, now this is my second time in the car, so the second hour, by the halfway through, I started to get my groove. I'm hitting my lines because before, I mentioned in the practice before, I was trying to figure out where do I turn, where do I brake. Not having cones out there. They did have cones. I take that back. They had cones at the straightaway before he drops down into the
so it'll be turn 12 to 13. Yeah,
they had it there, and then they also had it going into the carousel. So they had braking cones there. Those are the only two places. Everywhere else there is no cones.
Weird they would have them there. I'm trying to understand the rationale for there, but not in turn one where you're coming down from 140 miles an hour or some number.
I don't know.
Yeah, weird. Okay.
By the second session, halfway through, I'm starting to figure out how I can carry better speed. Where do I brake in this car? Because the brakes are definitely different, more touchy. Mm-hmm. And we put some foam behind my back, so it pushed me forward. So now my feet are in the correct location. Had we had more time, I probably got a little bit thinner foam because it put me a little closer than I wanted to the wheel, but it was way better having my feet better. So I started to get my groove, and I think I was hitting probably like 204, 206s.
All right.
Okay, so I dropped
6 to 8 seconds. That's good.
I'm feeling pretty good. Still slower.
What are they running?
The fastest guy on a team was...
No, your team. I don't know.
No, on the team I'm driving on. There's four of us, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think Brian on practice day was running like 2. And then...
Okay, so you're not that far off.
No, I'm not that far off.
Yeah, you're not that far off. It's not like they're running 155s and you're still 10 seconds slower.
So I think he's running a 2. David, I think, was running 203, 204. Mm-hmm. And then Chris, the other guy, I think he was running like a 202. So
solid.
We're all within, 4 to 5 seconds by my end of my second session. So I'm definitely feeling better, but I'm still not. I'm like, golly, I still feel like I'm really slow, especially going into turn 1. Like I'm way over slowing it.
Yeah. I still do that to this day.
I still do too, but
because I want to drive the car home.
I know that's the thing. So I got off the second session. I felt a lot better. I no longer had the thoughts of what have I done? I don't need to be here. I felt like I do belong here.
Yeah.
Right? I can do this. So that was a good practice.
So you needed to go through that.
I needed to go through that. It helped me grow.
Yeah.
So that was positive. Fast forward to Saturday. I come home, go back on Saturday for the race. The order was going to be Brian would start out. I think David went second. Chris went third. No, sorry. Brian went first. Chris went second. I went third, and then David took the checker. They said the third is probably the less chaotic. Is that a word? Most less?
Sure.
The
For
least,
our podcast, it's good.
The least amount of potential stuff because
probably spread out by then.
Everybody's spread out at that point. You'll constantly be hitting cars, but not in huge packs. So they're like, we'll send you out in group 3. I'm like, totally fine,
fair.
Whatever, right? That's good. So hung out the first day. I went and bought a cold suit.
Because,
they had a trackside guy. That had he had like a 30-foot trailer stock full of everything. And they did this in motorcycle racing. There was a vendor that would show up, had all your parts. So they had this guy that showed up. And so I went and bought a cold suit because, it's so nice. So I get out there for the third session. Our first driver, Brian, had set a 158. Yeah,
that's smoking.
He's smoking. Yeah, he's a good driver. So I'm like, okay, that's
solid. He's not over slowing turn 1.
No, he's not.
He's taking that probably full momentum.
I think later on he told me he was hitting that at like 115.
Turn 1 at 115?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not quite
You said that
there.
in Miatas at like 105.
Yeah, I'm not there.
Yeah, no. That's a level of trust and balls that.
Well, I'm not willing to because I've only had 2 hours total in the car.
Right. He has a lot more trust in the car.
Yeah, I just don't know it yet, right? I still don't know the car. So I get in there for, Brian does good. He starts out, sets some fast lap times. We're doing good. Chris gets in there. We're doing good. And Chris is starting to pick up the pace. Like, I think he was running without looking at the data, probably like 204, 205s. But he knew what Brian had done, right? So he's capable of going significantly faster. And he's starting to improve his lap time, 204, 203, 202.
And you have live telemetry going on?
We see the lap times. We're not seeing live telemetry of the car, but we're seeing live lap times. That's what we're seeing.
Okay, so you mean that Lucky Dog has got, or
Yes.
that you guys have your own?
No, the Lucky Dog. So they've got a timing,
Okay.
right? And so every lap it goes.
So you're
around.
looking at Lucky Dog's data, not your own personal
Correct.
data. Got it. Okay.
He's starting to push it. So we can start to see the times dropping down, and then he doesn't come around. Longer, right? Because the laps are 2:05.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see him, and then he comes in and he comes into the pits. Chris took the turn a little bit too hot. He did a 360 on turn 1 and went off track.
On 3. Okay, turn 1?
Yes.
Woo!
Oh yeah. When we watched the video later. So I'm telling you this later on. In the moment, all we know is that he spun and he went off track. Right. He comes in. There's grass and dirt everywhere. So they had to zip tie the bumper back on. Right, because it's no longer.
So this is the 5-minute pit stop that turned to 10.
Yeah, so this is
or longer.
Yeah, this is the. Oh yeah, I probably should have talked about that too, but I'll come back to the strategy later. But it turned into like a 10-minute pit, right? So that pushed us down. So then I go in, I do my stint.
Well, hold on, I'm sorry. Is that the only damage? Was the bumper? Just dirty car and grass. I get it.
The bumper, and it ripped off one of the brake ducts from the front. So the front had inlets cut into the front bumper, and then they routed back to...
So like NACA ducts to cool off the brakes.
Exactly.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
It had ripped one of those. So it was still partially on, but half off. So it was still getting some cooling, but not the full amount of cooling.
Got it. Okay.
But that was the only damage that had
It's not bad.
Not bad.
And you didn't spend hits... Excuse me. More importantly, you didn't hit someone.
He didn't hit anybody.
That's the crazy part.
To do a 360 and not touch a person, yeah, pretty good. I get out there, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm not hitting my laps yet, my lap times, but I'm working it because I'm in the car for 2 hours. So I got
2 hour stints at a time.
2 hour stints. So they all said, hey, take the first 20 minutes just to get comfortable and then start picking it up. So within a while, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to feel comfortable. I'm starting to feel good. I'm starting to drive the pace a little bit harder. And then there was an incident on track where they black flagged the race. So we all come off track. Everybody comes.
Did you line up in the hot
in the hot pit area, and then we're sitting there. I want to say for 25 minutes, maybe 30.
And you couldn't get out of the car?
Can't get out of the car, but they did allow someone to bring you like water or something. So they brought me some water, and I was able to drink and kind of cool down a bit. So then we got restarted. And then I was able to do my laps. I forgot what Saturday I ended up doing. I think I got down to 202 on Saturday.
Solid.
From practice, now I'm down about 10 seconds. So I'm feeling comfortable. I'm not as fast as Brian, but I'm feeling a lot better about driving the car. I'm starting to get comfortable. Then David jumps in the car, and then he finishes out. I think on Saturday, we ended up 6th place on Saturday. And if we hadn't had that extra 5-minute pit stop, then I think we probably would have been third or fourth. We've been really close.
That's nice.
So overall, that was a good day.
So the next question. So are the races, is it cumulative for both days, or is there a winner on Saturday and a winner on Sunday?
Yep,
Okay.
Separate. So
got it.
We left thinking pretty good. Hey, if we hadn't had the spin out, and we also took too long in one of the other pits. We took a little bit longer than we should have as the time, which you would think over an 8-hour race that just little bits of time wouldn't matter. Oh, they matter.
Yeah. Well, if everyone's running consistent lap times to you guys, then really the dependency is going to be pits,
Well, you have to do,
or at least one of the dependencies will be pits.
yeah, you
And
have
how
to have
fast you can
fast
do them.
pitch. You can't,
Yeah.
you just can't have super slow pitch because it will hurt you.
And it's not like NASCAR or F1. You have a minimum of 5 minutes,
Minimum
right?
of
So
5
minimum of
minutes.
5 minute pit time. So if you do 10, you've doubled your pit time.
Yep.
And at the end of the race, even though it's an 8-hour race, if the delta is 5 minutes,
Yeah, it's huge.
that's a big miss.
Yeah, and that's it, and that's what killed us. So
Yeah.
Saturday, I felt a lot better. We all felt good. Everybody was safe. The car was not damaged.
You slept good Saturday night, didn't you?
I slept really good.
Yeah, you did.
I came home. I cannot believe how tired I was, both mentally and physically. I mean, mentally I was drained, but I got home and I think before 9 o'clock I was already out. And normally I don't go to bed till like 11. I was out 9 o'clock. I rock. So come into Sunday, okay? I'm feeling good about my driving. I'm getting better. I think I definitely can still improve. The car is solid as rock, like no issues. Car 2, on the other hand, had lots of issues and wasn't able to complete. If we have time, I'll talk about Car 2, but I felt bad for them because they weren't able to finish.
And our friend David was on the same team,
Yeah,
right?
we're on the same team.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
we're driving together.
Plus
So come into Sunday, and we get there, and they said, hey, we need to talk about the order today. Do you want to start off? I'm like, yeah, sure.
Nice.
And, Dave was like, oh, it's super chaotic, and it is, right? You have all these cars. I'm like, but I've been racing motorcycles my whole life. I'm used to
yeah.
chaos at the beginning of a race. That doesn't bother me. I'm like, yeah, sure. If you want me to do that, I'll do it. I'm like, that'll be a cool experience.
Okay. Is it a rolling start?
So we did 2 laps where we will pace around in a single file line for 2 laps, okay? Then when they come up on the main straight, you move into 2x,
Yeah.
and then they'll because the pace car goes off, at the end of the corkscrew.
Right.
So it's going to be the green flag, and so people get lined up, and then the green flag goes, and then you just haul out down straight away into turn 1. That is crazy chaotic.
Turn 1 and turn 2. So for those of you, we'll give you a little context. In our cars, my car, I'll do 135 to 140 at the end of the straightaway before I nail the brakes. In your car, you're going faster. You're 150, 155, something like that. So that's at turn 1. Before you turn it out, it looks like your buddy Chris did 115 around turn 1. But assume you're going that fast and you nail the brakes. Everybody's nailing the brakes to turn into turn 1. Turn 2 is about 1/8 of a mile or less away.
Yep.
And that is a 90-degree turn. You can carry about 60 miles per hour speed in it-ish because you're going uphill as well. So you got the front end is nice and planted and suspension is squatted. But I can see where going into turn 1, everyone's braking, and then you really brake hard into turn 2 before you release and go into turn 3, 4, 5 complex. So I can see where it would get really hectic.
I think the biggest thing going into there from the start, even like the first 2 or 3 laps, is side by side multiple cars. So 2 to 3 cars wide going to that first turn. That's scary.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what the guy on your inside or outside, like if I'm in the middle, what are they going to do? Are they going to is the inside guy going to push wide? Is the guy on the outside going to cut in? So
You just, to some degree, I think you do have to trust that.
You have to trust
that they've got the same idea of you. Don't wreck the car.
Don't touch the car.
So give the other person room while you're giving them room, and ideally, you're both giving each other a lot of room to make sure you are self-preservation.
It is, and luckily nothing happened.
Yeah.
But it is definitely chaotic. The first 2 to 3 laps in turn 1 and turn 2, there's so many cars together.
Yeah.
After that, then it will slowly start to thin out.
All right, final question. Not the final question. I've got lots of questions. But because you are in the group 3, right?
Yes.
Okay, and that is quote unquote the slowest group.
Yes.
Okay, so they've got you lined up by how fast you qualified.
Yep.
And of course, now is it the faster person in group 3?
Nope.
He's in front. It's still in the back.
No, the
How
way
does that
they
work?
do it, the way they do that is that how you lined up in the pits on Saturday. They started at one end, and you lined up in that order from start to finish. And then on Sunday, they reverse it, and the people at the end were at the front, and they go that way.
So you were in the front.
So I was in the front.
Wow. Okay.
I was in the front of.
I like that concept because in theory, the faster cars now in the rear, they have to be better drivers.
Yes.
They have to work their way through safely if they want to.
So that was cool. I was in the
That's
front
smart.
of Group 3. So I start out. We get through the start. I'm feeling better. I really worked on turn one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm anxious to go back now in my car because I changed the way that I drive turn one now.
Really?
Because of that car. I'm only hitting, I think the top speed I hit on the straightaway is like 120.
Yeah.
So way slower. But the way I was going in turn one is that I would get up to maybe where break point 1 would normally be.
Mm-hmm.
So skip 3, skip 2, down to 1, tap the brake and turn in and just carry the speed. So I was doing like 107.
In the race car.
In the race car.
Right.
I'm doing like 107.
Okay, that's still booking.
Still booking. But I started getting really confident about 120, tap the brake, turn in, go straight, 120, and then make that turn up to 2 in like 65 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I carried better speed going through 1-2 combo than I have done in my car. That started working well, and I just kept working on it. And the Garmin is sitting there with a big number, right? Tells you what your lap time is. It's green if you're beating your best session time.
Yep.
And it's red if you're not. I was always chasing green.
Of course you are.
Always chasing green.
Of course. Otherwise, you wouldn't be a driver.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not everybody wants to be chasing the green. I mean, there's a lot of people that are out. Dude, there's a lot of people out there.
Just out there to
they're just out there just to
say they did it.
They have fun.
That's a fair point.
But they're not out there to compete, right? They're out there to have fun.
If I'm doing it, I'm going to have fun, but I'm competing. I'm trying to win.
I want to do both.
I'm with you.
So I'm chasing.
I try to beat the GPS time to come over here.
So I am chasing green. I was getting down to consistently 2-minute 159.
Nice.
And that's what they want. The team wants you to hit very consistent lap times, lap after lap after lap. Once you get out of traffic, you're just on your own. You're never on your own, right? There's cars always there. But when you don't have gaggles of cars, I mean, I was, 10 laps in a row. I'm hitting consistently 159, 2 minutes. The one time I wanted to hit 158 because that's what the fast guy had done, right? So I had wanted to hit that. I am working on this. I forgot what lap it was, but I'm green. The whole way through, I'm green. And it also tells you how many seconds faster if you're like 0.0 seconds, 0.1, 1 second. I am more than 1 second green. And so my best time at that point was 159 something. I think 159.4 was my best.
So you're rolling into the low 158s.
I'm in the 158s, right?
Yeah.
The low 158s. And you can see the cars that you're catching up ahead. And you always want to time it where you can pass them on a straightaway or somewhere where you don't slow down. I can
see by your face that this is going to mess up your lap time, whatever it is. Yeah,
I caught him on the corkscrew down the hill.
Yep.
I caught him, and you can't do anything.
Yeah, you can't pass on a corkscrew.
There's nowhere to go around.
No, because you got to come down the thing,
down the hill,
take that right, and then you got to immediately cut into the next left.
And even if they go wide, then you have to go slow on the inside so you don't drift out.
Right.
I end up doing a 159. So I lost an entire second just right there.
I'm insulted.
And
our friendship is almost over.
Man, I think I came in 2 laps later. I didn't have another opportunity for a super fast last time. I was really bummed because I wanted to at least get in the 158s. But that was really good. I was really happy. I got to start out. I was putting out some solid lap times. I come off the track. We're sitting well. I think we're like in the top 3 or 4, so we're doing really well.
So what do you do when you come off the track each time? Like, what does everybody have a job to do? Like,
kind of.
What is your job after your stint is over?
So one thing that's important to note is that everybody has to do no more than you have to do right around 2 hours. Okay, you can't do more than 2 hours. But if you do a lot less then that means that someone else has to go back out there, right? So you want to be coming in the pits around 150 because it's an 8-hour race. Come in the pits around 155, 5-minute pit, get back out there. Now a complete stint of 2 hours.
Right.
So you want to come in right there.
Does the pit time count toward your 2 hours?
Yes.
Okay. That's smart.
So we on practice, and on Saturday we have in-car audio. So inside my helmet, I have a speaker and a push to talk. Okay?
Was it their helmet? They give you a helmet to use, or yours? Okay.
Yeah, I had to buy a headpiece.
You buy a piece for it. Okay, got it.
It was great. Friday and Saturday we could talk back and forth. It was great. Sunday,
I wonder if I should get one. We do that on track days.
I was thinking about that. That would be really fun.
That would be really
That
interesting.
would be really cool to do.
Yeah. Hey, Slowpoke, get out of my way. I mean, that's what I would hear from him all the time. Get a faster car.
Yeah, just go around you. Sunday we didn't have it. Something happened in the car, and we no longer had comms. Car 2 had it. Car 1 didn't have it. And so they asked me when we went out, hey, are you okay going out without comms? I'm like, yeah, whatever. The only thing is, if there's issue on track, one, they can't tell you about it. But two, if something is going on strategy-wise, they can't communicate to you.
How do you know when to come back? I assume they have someone out there with a sign.
Well, we knew that I need to come in around 155, right? So that was the mark. But we're also starting to get fuel starvation, where coming up over the hill, turn 10, going into the thumb,
Yes.
you come up high speed and you bank slightly left, we're starting to get a fuel cutoff. And David had noticed it on Saturday. And so they said, hey, if you notice fuel starvation, it's going to happen there. If it happens once, okay. If it happens your second lap, then come in. Whatever time it is, just come in. We're doing, and I'm about 150 at this point. So I'm going to be coming in around within the next 5 minutes. I come up over turn 10, fuel cutoff. I'm like, oh, okay, there's one. Come back around. Fuel cutoff happened again. So I'm like, okay, I got to go in. But I was at 154 at that point. So it worked out good that I was able to pull in the pits at 155. They needed to fill up the car. So when you come in, you pull in, come off the track, they'll put a timer on your car on the top and start it. That's your 5 minutes.
After you stop.
After you have to stop. Before you enter pit row, you come off the track, you stop.
Oh, okay.
Put a thing on it, then you drive down pit row and you pull into your pit, and they've got a board that's got your number, like you see race cars.
Yeah.
They have your number because there's all these cars, right? Because you don't know where your pit is, so you drive. They have the number out, pull in, stop. My job as a driver, unhook the 4-point harness, right? Unclip it, take the steering wheel off, hang it up,
yep,
and undo the net. Okay, those are my 3 jobs. Once I stop, as I'm doing that, one guy comes in the passenger door, disconnects the cool suit, disconnects the fuel, fuel shut off, turns off the vehicle.
So is that a safety piece that all cars have to have?
Yeah.
Have to have fuel shut off. You have to shut off before you. Okay.
Yeah. He does that, and then another person comes around and opens the door and brings the fire extinguisher. Once he opens the door, I'm now unbuckled. Everything is undone. I climb out of the car, grab the fire extinguisher. Then I go back around where they're fueling, and there's a guy waiting with a fuel jug. I'm there with the fire extinguisher pointing at the guy fueling the car.
And they can't start fueling until you get out of the car.
They can't start fueling till I come over there.
I like the safety precaution there.
And everybody's even the guy fueling is in full race gear, full suit, everything. No one can touch the car until fuel is done, right? So now once the fuel is done and cap is on, then anybody can get.
Is it a standard cap or like a race cap?
Just normal cap.
Normal screw-on cap?
Just normal screw-on cap. But then anybody can get over the wall. You don't have to be in race suit, right? So now someone's over there cleaning the windows. One guy's putting more ice in the cool box. The driver gets in. The next driver gets in. Then another guy comes over.
Cool suit. Does the opposite.
They hook the cool suit up. They lock them in. And then the only thing the driver has to do, keep your hands up, let them lock you all in, take the steering wheel, connect it, and that's all you have to do. And you crank the car, right? And then you go. Yeah. Everybody else is doing all the other stuff. They're checking the car and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We had a super fast pit stop, really good, within 5 minutes, right? Super fast pit stop. Next guy gets on, no problems, right? Really good, really good. Now, the third guy was supposed to be Chris. By the end of the second session, we're looking good. I think we're in like top 4 or 5. But when you look at the times, we have a chance of being on the podium. So the owner of the team swapped and became the driver 3, instead of Chris, who's going to be. So Chris gave up his slot.
And Chris is the faster driver, right? He's the
Chris is like medium, like he's right in
Okay.
there with us, right?
Okay.
He's just in the middle. He's not a slow driver, but we're all within a couple of seconds, right? So
Yeah.
slow is relative, but the owner of the team is definitely a faster driver.
Oh, okay.
Whatever, they worked out a deal where he's going to take the stint because it puts us in a better position of having faster lap time. So he jumps in there, and I think he dropped in a 157. He does third session, comes in,
And you're on the same tires the whole time, right?
yeah, same tires for the weekend.
For the weekend.
Yeah,
Is
for
that
the weekend.
is that by rules, regulations, or just design?
Well, we had a crappy set on for practice, but
Yeah.
then they put on a new set for Saturday.
Are
And
they
they
slicks
were
or are
so good.
they-
No, they're 200 treadwear.
200. Okay.
Yeah. And they have to buy them. They all run spec tire. So everybody has the same tire.
Same tire. Okay.
So-
Same width too.
I doubt it.
Okay.
There's no way it could be
I,
the
I
same.
wouldn't think so.
Not with all the different vehicle types. So
Yeah.
it's just same treadwear.
Okay.
He comes in. We're looking really solid. Now, after his stint, we're definitely really good chance of a podium. We don't know where, but really good chance of podium. Again, a really good pit stop. Driver 4 jumps in. This is Brian, the guy that did the first stint on day 1.
Right.
So he gets in. And now, at this point, probably within an hour, I think there was some instruction about, hey, if we need you to do something, we'll be waving a flag or something to look over at us or something like that because we don't have in comms, right? Mm-hmm. So we start.
You never fixed comms that day.
No, because on Saturday they tried to fix There was something they tried to work on something on Saturday, and we lost 3 minutes. That 3 minutes plus the spin out that cost.
Yeah.
So this Sunday we're not touching anything. Halfway through the last stint, we're starting to run all the numbers, and we're like, gosh, we're looking really solid. And so the owner of the team went and talked to race control. And because if you get too fast, then they will bump you. They will do it during a race. They'll bump you into another group if you're going too fast. They said we were on the verge of being too fast in our group, and they're going to move us to the B group. So then
I can see why they do that though. To keep you.
It's good, right?
Right.
I totally appreciate.
So you
that.
don't sandbag.
Right. So they're like, you're right on the edge. So we're trying to calculate, and so we're all huddled. And Brian, the driver, tells us later, he would come around and he's like, I knew you guys were working on something because I'd look over and you guys were all huddled, and you were huddled for like 4 laps. So he's like, I knew something was really going on. So we're trying
Did he
to
figure out what it was in the car?
He didn't know what was happening.
Oh, okay.
But we're trying to figure out what is the best pace time that we need to hold that will get us to the podium, but not put us over the edge into the other one, right? Right at that threshold.
Yeah.
Okay. So we figured out he needs to be putting down a time of around 2:01. So we get
Consistent 201s, not below 2. Okay.
Right. So we get a whiteboard, 3x4. They write lap in bold letters, 2:01 plus.
And for anybody in a race car, or any car for that matter, on a track, to look over, basically be told, drive slower. That's got to be tough to hear or see, rather.
Well, here's my thing. I'm like, okay, so you know where the wall is, where the racetrack.
Yeah.
You got the pit,
Yeah.
hot pits,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got the short wall.
Oh, you're behind the short wall to do
We're
that?
behind that's where the pits are.
Oh, and you couldn't get into the hot. Oh.
Well, you could. You could get in the hot pit area. You had to have someone there with you. We're over in the cold pit, I'll call it that,
Yeah.
right? Behind the short wall. He takes the sign and holds it up, and I'm like, there is no way in the world the driver going down the straightaway can look over, see where our pit is, and read what is actually on the sign. No way that's going to happen. But they hold it up. He goes around. Guess at what his lap time was?
201.
2:01. And we're like,
So he saw it.
there's no way. That had to be a fluke. It just had to happen. That's what it was. Comes around again. 2:01. And we're like, oh my gosh, he did see it. He saw it. He read it.
Wow.
And so then as you watch
Did you confirm that later on? That
yeah,
he did
we
see it?
confirmed
Okay.
it. He's like, oh yeah, I saw it. I read it. I'm like, how?
Wow.
Props to Brian.
Massive props, Brian.
I mean, one, to see it and read it, and then be able to execute it. And he was like 201, 203, 202, 201, consistently.
Where did he?
hitting it.
Okay, so knowing that track as well as I do, where did he slow down to find time?
My guess is he probably slowed down in turn one, because that's where he was faster than all of us.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought. The easiest thing is slowing down and over slowing turn one is a thing. I do it all the time. I can gain probably a couple seconds there if I wanted to. I can see we can over slow it on purpose, because then you can everything else you need to keep momentum.
I never went back and looked at the Garmin data to see where he was doing it, but the fact is that he was hitting it consistently.
That's
pulled
great.
in. We got second overall.
So hold on, more questions. So how do they end the race? So he's in it. Is it at 5 o'clock p.m.? I'm making
Yep.
up a time.
Yep.
5 o'clock p.m.
Yep.
The race is over.
Yep.
You go to the checkered flag. Everything's done. You do your cool down lap. You pull in your spot, and okay.
That's how it ends.
So normal thing.
Normal thing. It ends at the time, and then whoever had the most laps in is the winner. Everything below that is your first, second, third, whatever. We finished I think we finished one lap back. Of the other team.
That's not bad considering the issues that you guys had.
Well, on Sunday we didn't really have any issues.
Oh, that was Saturday.
Other than comms, right?
So you had roughly 5 minute.
We had
stops.
roughly.
Okay.
We were one lap down. The team 3, which is, it's cool. That's why I really like the strategy part, because we are able to calculate, okay, team 3, third place team, they're running this pace, which is about 2 seconds slower than us. So if we slow down so that we don't get kicked to B group, we can still stay in front of them. So I think we beat them by like 2 laps. But the strategy part was amazing because, as I said earlier, is that 2 seconds a lap over an entire 8-hour period, that adds up to a lot of time.
Yeah.
And then if you screw up your pits, that adds a lot of time. If you can do consistent low times with your entire team, not just like one person, but your whole team, and you can do your pits within 5 minutes, then you're going to be toward the top of the box. Sunday was great. Car executed flawlessly. All the drivers did great. Everybody put down solid, consistent laps.
No damage to the car.
No damage to the car. And it was great.
Sure, your wallet says thank you for that.
It did, because we didn't talk about this, but their rule, every team has different rules. This team's rule is if you're the driver and damage happens, you're at fault. So
Even if somebody hits you.
even if someone hits you. So in some of the videos I talked about where Matt was kind of doing some preview stuff before the race, a couple of examples where people just weren't paying attention and they literally just turned in and someone smacked into them. Wasn't the person that ran into them's fault. It was the person that turned down because they weren't paying attention. So I was always in top of my mind of like, crap, what if someone screws up and I hit them? I'm still on the hook for it. Now, you can go ask that person, hey, like, that was your fault. You're going to help pay for that? But most people's mindset, racing is racing. If something happens, that's just part of racing, and you have to...
Because they got to pay for their own, so they're not going to pay for yours either. That's the tough part right there.
That was always, a little bit worrisome.
Yeah.
Other teams do it differently.
Do they cap out the damage? Like if it's more than...
Well, the total amount of the car damage is, they tell you the total. So he's like, this is the total amount. So if you total a car, this is how much you owe me. That's the worst case scenario. In order to
What
total
was that
a
number?
car, it's not like one of the A-class BMWs that were probably 50, 60,000.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, that's a little bit different. I'm willing to gamble.
Yeah, but
that.
not every team out there does what rinse out their seats.
No.
Some are just pure race teams.
There's a
It is
ton
what
of
it is.
tons of people that are just a bunch of group of guys and girls. Because like I think the team that won B class, it had 2 guys and 2 girls on it. I think.
Wow, that's
they
great.
were really good. So there's a whole bunch of just group of people that just get together. But then other teams do it differently, where they will divide the cost amongst the entire team. If you're the driver and something happens, I still have to help cover, but the amount of money is spread across the team. So everybody does it differently.
I'd almost rather do that.
Yeah.
I think I would. I'd almost rather do that, knowing that, it sucks. I may have to pay some money out that I didn't damage.
But it's a lot less.
You talk about probabilities of damage in a race. Probabilities are high that at some point you race 5 times, there's going to be damage.
Probably.
So I'd rather do one where, on average, I'm going to make out better.
It's a gamble.
Yeah, for sure.
But it it was a blast. I had so much fun. We were so close that we could have been top spot, but man, to get on the podium was really cool. I got the car down to a super fast time that I could. There's definitely more time I could give.
Oh, for sure.
Only being in the car a couple times, I felt pretty happy. I got to start the race in the chaos, which is really cool.
Well, the key there, though, is not who cares if you set the fastest lap and there's only one of those laps. Who cares?
Yeah.
The reality is you want consistent laps.
Consistent laps. That's all that matters.
Because then you can figure out a strategy from there. If you're consistently at 202s, fine.
Yep.
At least now you know what the strategy is. All right, great. Now we got to get the faster guy to go consistent 159s. We can average this thing out a little bit. I mean, so yeah, I like the strategy game.
Yeah, I love that part so much.
Yeah.
So a couple of things I'll mention on, I think it was the last stint on Sunday. Guy, I think he was in RX-7 going down the straightaway just past the bridge. I think the flywheel let loose, shot up through the hood. The hood was raised at least a foot. Big dent in the hood. Engine parts covered the entire straightaway.
There's a rotary, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
He lost his brakes.
Yeah, because it's going to cut the lines.
Right. Lost his brakes. So he's going into turn 1 straight away. Yeah, it blew up, so he's losing power and slowing down.
But still, that thing's about 3/4 of the way down.
He's still going fast, right?
Yeah.
He makes a turn. He's telling us this later. I'm not going to run off the track. I don't want to just shoot off into the bliss. So he goes up turn 2. After turn 2, he goes up the hill, but he doesn't make it to the top. So he starts running backwards. So he starts rolling backwards. He can't stop, right?
Yeah.
Because no brakes. So he comes back down the hill, and it comes to stop, and then the engine gets on fire.
Oh, wow.
So he goes to hit the
Fire suppression.
Yeah. It doesn't work. I can't believe all of this stuff happened with this guy's car.
So now he's got to extricate himself from the car.
Yeah, they had to get out of the car. So they black flagged red flag, black flag the race. They red flagged it, and then they black flagged it, and then they had to do a restart. And then there were so many cars that I could not believe did not make it to the end of day 2. Because on day 1, they kept saying, not only do you need to be very consistent on your lap times, and you don't need to hit other cars, you also need to take care of the car and don't abuse it, because endurance race, longevity wins the race. And I didn't really understand that until day 2. By the afternoon of day 2, because I had the first stint, so I'm just walking around the whole next 5-6 hours. Mm-hmm. How many cars were braking by the second half of the second day? So many cars are in the pits, not on the track. They're all in the pits.
Are they being repaired, or are the people giving up?
Both. Mm-hmm. Some people just banked it in, like, no, we're done. And then a lot of people were still working on the cars. But you work on the car for, 10 minutes? That's 5 laps that you've already lost, right?
Yep.
Not abusing your car and being able to keep it on track is, that's the end of the...
And we should know that, know as many IMSA races as we've gone to and WAC.
I didn't think about that stuff.
But, yeah.
It's, really critical.
So think about that, though. How much more engineering goes into like an IMSA car or a WEC car, any of those?
Yeah.
You guys did 8 hours, 2 days of 8 hours, so 16 hours of driving, right? Ish.
Yep. And
your car held together, with, other than some off-road excursioning. Other than that, held together great because you didn't overdrive the car, overpower the car.
Yep.
You took care of it. But imagine these cars that are designed you want to drive it to the absolute limit for 24 straight hours. The engineering on that's insane.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Well, the last thing I'll tell you, and then we can wrap this up, is Mustang Guy.
Oh, yeah. You mentioned at the beginning.
Yep.
Was Mustang Guy there?
No, he wasn't.
Oh.
Another Mustang guy. But
it's always a Mustang guy.
Mustang guys, they just carry
I'm sorry, you Mustang owners, but come on.
So there was
You're memes for a reason.
There's a Mustang guy that...
With love.
What, is that turn 13, dropping down the corkscrew? Is that
Yep.
13? A lot of times this guy would dive bomb you going there, right? Because this car is a lot faster than our car. I don't know what horsepower, but it's a lot faster. But he would dive bomb you, and the problem is that when you dive bomb, one, you can see a guy coming, but when they get up right beside you, you have that big net there, and if they're on your quarter panel, it's hard to tell.
How far?
So you know that they're coming, but, well, where do I turn? And because he's dive bombing you, he's trying to make a super tight turn, right? That hard
It's
left to
great
drop down.
at that turn 14. That's greater than, or turn 13. That's greater than 90-degree turn. If you think about it, it's a little greater.
It drops down back to the left.
Yeah.
And so a couple times he would dive bomb me right there, and it's like, dude, I get it's a race, and I know time matters, but so many times he was like really getting way too close. At least what I felt, he was getting way too close. Well, coming out of 5 going into 6 toward the carousel, that long straightaway, and it kind of has a little kink in it. This guy, I don't know what he was doing, but you're going down the straightaway and we're getting ready to start braking into 6. As soon as this guy started to brake, he shifted, like his car was moving. So we're going up, down 5 into 6, and we're side by side. There's probably a foot between us, or maybe 2 feet between us, okay? As we're getting ready to go toward the carousel to make that turn, he hits the brakes, and you can see him, the steering wheel shifting. He literally gets within maybe 6 inches of the car. Like I could have reached out my net window and grabbed his car. He was that close. Pucker factor really high because I'm like, what the heck?
And you're probably doing that one is turned probably 100 miles an hour, 90, something like that. Yeah,
100 miles an hour going before I hit the brakes in that turn. And so he had just hit him because he was passing me, and he hit it, and then he did this little squirrely moment. And so later on, I'm telling the team about it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Cobra guy, Mustang guy, he did the same thing to them too." So I don't know what was going on with his brakes, that they were shimmering, that caused him to move over, but. Man, I did not want to be near him. So fast forward to the end. I'm walking through the pits toward the end of the day. Mustang guy didn't make it to the end of the day. He's loaded up in the into the semi and is headed on. So I don't wish him ill that something happened to the car, but it's like, dude, man, you need to chill it out on the track with other cars that are not horsepower as fast as you are. We're still good drivers, but, man, you need to be careful with that stuff.
Yeah, just relax a little bit.
So, anyway, that was my first foray into car racing.
Dude, that's so – I'm happy for you. That's great. I'm proud of you and David and the rest of the teams, so Brian and Chris, right?
Yep.
That's great. I was watching you guys online, seeing all the pictures and stuff. I was getting texts from Dan throughout the day, throughout the weekend rather. It's awesome to see it. I'm really proud of you, man. That's awesome.
That was cool.
I'm looking forward to doing one as well.
Yeah.
I really am. I was telling my wife about it. She's like, "Would you do this?" I'm like, "Of course I'll do it." Just a matter of when and timing and all that stuff, but I do want to do one for sure. I've done a lot of track days, and that's the track I would want to do it at because I know it so well.
Yep.
I look forward to doing that too sometime.
Well, we got a plan for it.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. You and I and David would be fun.
That would be. We just get,
maybe buy a car.
Get full St. John out there.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah. Good stuff, man.
Yep. All right. Till next one.
Till next one.
Later.
See you.